today we are refreshing this worn 200,000 mile steering wheel with a new NB Nardi wheel. We're also changing the engine out and the rear end with a limited slip on the same Miata, so check that out if you're interested. So let's start tearing in. All right, now we're gonna unlock our steering wheel so that we can get to the 4 10mm bolts here and here, and also on the other side. All right, so go ahead and straighten our wheel back out. Now our airbag comes right out. It's got a little tether on it. Just unhook it from that tab there. Then to get at these connectors, we're going to undo this Phillips head screw. Undo this orange connector first. Now our airbag's free. Don't go blow this up. Now we need to undo our nut for the steering wheel. It's a 21mm or 13/16. Use a big breaker bar or whatever. Then we're actually going to thread it back on there loose so we don't smack ourselves in the face with the steering wheel. And we should just be able to yank the steering wheel out. Hopefully we don't have to grab a puller. There we go. Now we're ready for the new steering wheel. Alright, so here's our old steering wheel. You can see it's definitely got 205,000 miles of wear on it. Served its purpose. Here's our new one from an NB. Still fits on the NA, but we are going to have to do a little bit of surgery to get the airbag to work. Definitely an upgrade. Alright, so we got a couple wiring things we got to take care of. In order to get our NB steering wheel to work with the NA, we got to put the NA connector on the NB airbag, so we're going to have to cut and splice. Alright, so you see we got 2 different colors. It really doesn't matter what goes to what. These operate just like a model rocket fuse, so these just melt a fuse basically, and then that sets off the solid fuel for the airbag. This is definitely a connection I recommend solder and heat shrink on. So we should be squared away on our airbag connection. Alright, next we're going to deal with our horn. Take the NA connector off, put back the NB. We just splice the two together. Now we can go reinstall the wheel. Another thing we got to do is, unfortunately, Mazda swapped the clock spring tangs that engage with the wheel from vertical to horizontal with the NB. So we're going to have to drill some new holes into the NB wheel. So I'm going to use a paint pen to put some wet paint onto the clock spring so that we can know where we need to drill on the wheel. And now we got our marks. We're going to go ahead and just match our drill bit with the holes on the NA wheel. Looks like a 13/64 drill bit should do it for us. It's also about how deep we need to go. So we'll go ahead and use a punch to keep our bit from walking. There we go. All right, now we're ready for reinstallation. Obviously you want to line up the wheel. Looks like we drilled our clock spring slightly off center, but it's not going to have any effect. It just needs to engage so that it spins with the wheel. I don't know the torque spec, but you want it tight. Alrighty, now for our airbag and then the horn connector. Fish this through, make sure everything fits together. Alright, so it's kind of tricky to get everything to fit together. That's kind of where it ended up settling. So you can hear the horn engaging and everything looks to be flush. Alright, so now we need to get our 2 10mm bolts that hold the airbag to the steering wheel. The NB's got a little bit of a different mounting system. Snug that up until we get the other side. Alright, let's hook our battery up. Horn works. And now you just want to go get in some kind of high-speed front-end collision to make sure that your airbag deploys. And if it doesn't, you gotta fix it. So there you go, we got our nice new NB wheel in our ratty old NA.